lot to dissect here. Where you want to start?
All right. So age is important because it shows. I could have sworn they said, hold on, let me see. They got two different age groups on here. Because I could have sworn they said he won the Gen X vote, or actually Gen X. I don't know, the young vote. I'll just say the young vote. I
Oh yeah,
forgot.
that's Gen Z.
Or Gen Z. Got it. Okay. But looks like Kamala got the Gen Z vote here.
She did, but it wasn't by a comfortable margin. I was actually
Sure.
surprised by how well he did with Gen Z, but I think
Good.
we can thank Barron Trump for that because he was the one that encouraged Trump to do the podcast circuit
Yes.
because
Yeah.
he knew that's where folks were.
Yeah. And then also the people that were they're able to vote 4 years ago, they're voting now. And so that puts them same in this age group. So that definitely tells that there's been a change. Like, hey, I know how life was under Biden, and that's not that's not working for me. Like none of that stuff is even working for me.
By the
Uh
way, I'm looking at those two age categories you were talking about. It looks like the only difference is they broke it out into more categories in the second row.
Yeah, it looks like okay, 18, 24, 25. Yeah, still, she's still. I mean, you're right. He did better. It was pretty close, so it wasn't like a blowout. Like Democrats generally get the young vote like they normally do, but definitely got the older vote, the 40 and up crowd. So, which 65 and older, I'm kind of surprised that was kind of a split there. Interesting.
Yeah, I am as well.
Marital status. This is something that people. This is a funny one because this is gonna. I was gonna say there's another one here, but we'll come to we'll come back to that one. So let me go down to race. There we go. Whoo, man, Latino men they caught wreck last week. I mean,
I ain't
black
surprised.
men caught wreck too, but Latino men. I mean, in this one, this is Latino. I think there is one that breaks it down by gender, but Latino men they caught wreck last week when once these exit polls came out and it shows who was voting. Actually, let me just jump down to the gender because that's a interesting conversation to have. Like who people are trying to blame. This is that gender by marital status. That's what I was talking about. A lot of unmarried women voting for Kamala. So take that for what you will.
Not surprised.
Yeah, here it is. All right, gender by race. This is pretty telling. I was not expecting. I don't know about you. I was expecting the black vote to be reduced. I was hoping. Honestly, I was thinking like 50%. Obviously, she got what was it 70%? It was 70 80% or something like that. But
Right.
it was a reduced amount. It was a reduction, especially on the black men's side, and then black women. It was like kind of a sneeze. But I mean, they're the women coming around. So there was definitely a reduction there, but I was not expecting Latino men. And then you got Latino women. Like these are the people. These are our wives. I mean, well, at least here, black men and women, they're a little bit closer. But Latino men and women, it's night and day. Well, I guess not night and day. It's only 5%.
It
But
ain't that far off, man. And there are a lot of those. A lot of Latinos I know are conservative as hell. Especially like I know a lot of Cubans that
wait,
are
men or
very
women?
conservative. Both. If you talk to somebody who's come from Cuba, more than likely they'll tell you, "I don't ever want to see anything close to socialism ever again," and they tie that to the Dems,
Yeah,
and they passionately ride for that.
yeah. So here's the fallout that I saw. Um, when people were once these exit polls numbers came out, people were losing their mind. They were blaming black men. Like this is the Democrats, the party of tolerance, the party of I mean democracy. They saved democracy, like they said in 2020. And these exit polls number comes out, you would think these people are racist. Like if you just took the thumbnail, the little profile picture,
Yeah,
and you took that off, you would think this person was a white person, like some triple K person, some Yahtzee person. You would think these are terrible people, and these are regular people just saying this on the internet, and just horrible, terrible things. Like I saw one woman. I wanted to. I really wanted to. I didn't know what I could do with it because it was so disgusting what she said. But she said,
About the knee on the neck and the
yeah,
police.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which and the crazy thing is, even though there was a reduce in voting from black people, the majority of black people still voted for her, black men and women. So who are you going to like? Why are you blaming? Like, why are you putting that on all black men? Because essentially, 3/4 of black men voted for her. You know, 3 out of 4 black men voted for her. So you can't say you know black men are to blame. Like even if she got the same number, she still loses the vote. She's not winning, and it's not because of Latino men. It's really because of white people. You know, the white women did not show up for her. White men did not show up for her. And when they started this whole Kamala thing, white women for Kamala, white cucks for Kamala, like they had all those white people showing up for her, but yet the numbers are saying something different.
Hey, so I look at it like this. First of all, the polls actually kind of got this right when it came to black people. They predicted that he would have between 20 and 30% of the
Yes.
black vote. And that's he basically tripled what he did last time. He's at 10% last time, if I recall.
Yeah. But
That's
I
number
think the
one.
most out of any Republican,
And
right?
a lot, yeah. And number two, damn near one out of every three black people voted for Trump. If you combine the black men and black women ratio, you're pretty close to 30%.
Yes.
That's one out of every three people. So you got a bigger problem, Dems, that you need to deal with. You're losing your most loyal base. And CNN did a report about this. Since Obama left, black support for the Dems has been declining every single year since Obama's second term ended.
Yes.
So this has been a problem for a long time that they have not addressed. That's number one. Number two, the women are voting with their men until you get to the black people. Like, like
God,
seriously.
I forgot to connect to those. Yes.
Yeah, like we are the only group where the women and the men are not voting alike. Everybody else was somewhat in line with one another.
Yes.
Like this is yeah, man. Like Trump
It is
is
bad.
changing the way politics works in this country, and it's kind of fascinating to see.
Yeah, that's actually bad. That's a really good pickup though, because like you said, you know, 16.55%, 16.53%, and you get the black people 77 to 91%. That's oh man.
Now let's tie it back to of all these races of people we talking about, which ones are the least married? Us,
Which one has most abortions?
us,
Yeah.
and which brings me to my initial point that I made a few weeks ago. The Dems thought that they could get black women to tell them what black men wanted. We're not in a space where you can do that right now. They
Mm-mm.
got to have those conversations separately until we get our family unit back in order.
Yeah, yeah. I think I saw this on Anton Daniels' channel, who's doing like a it was one of his Monday night shows. But there was a gal on there. I forget her name though, but she was definitely she said, look, until black women apologize to black men for what occurred in the I want to say the 60s and so we're really 60s and beyond, and then also this election cycle, especially this election cycle, black men and women will never get back together. They'll never be in unison or lockstep with each other because there's just too much trauma on both sides, and both sides refuse. Well, I mean, I don't think black men need to, you know, apologize for anything, but black men do need to step up and be the leader, get back to the leadership position in the communities, and then also politically as well too, though, because this is it's great that Trump ran because Trump woke up some black people. He woke up some well, I guess if Latinos are generally conservative, fine, but he definitely woke up some of the at least when it came to white women because he has removed that that talking point that abortion impacts. Oh, is that abortion? Anyway, I'll fix it. Anyways, he has removed that talking point about baby deletions. That you know that's not a card anymore. The Democrats it's generally reproductive rights. They can't play that card anymore. They've over spammed it so much that no one believes them. They know it's a state's issue. So going back to like black men and women, that's not going to work because black men, you cannot tell us like they when they look at this campaign, they probably won't even like think that was a thing. But putting Brock on there was a grave misstep. Putting Michelle on there, talking down the black men, or talking down the men in general, and then villainizing men, and then telling your wives, your husband doesn't have to know when you get into that booth. You don't have to, you got to protect him, or, you're not a victim of his rage or something. Those were terrible missteps. And those are not the people that want family first or want families back together. And again, they're pandering. They put this message towards the black community. It's like they, try to, experiment on us, and then they try to spread the message out, see how effective it is, and it just backfired on them.
Man, I saw you took it down, but there were two more categories on there I wanted to go through really
Yeah,
quick.
yeah, we bring it back.
Um, the first one is education by race.
Where is that at? Right there. Okay.
So I figured this will be where Kamala performed the strongest because the whole D9 connection or whatnot.
Mhm.
But she did well there. She took in 65%. But as we learn more and more about college and how much most degrees are a scam, it you have no choice but to think that a lot of people that go to college aren't as smart as they think they are. So
Sure.
I wanted to call that out here because that's a conversation that needs to be had. A lot of people go to college and get degrees that don't require a whole lot of effort, and quite frankly, you're not getting your return on investment. Then the other thing I wanted to call out: first year voting. This is crazy. So 56% of first time voters voted for Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah. That's a very good point. No
That
one, no
is,
one's been talking about that. I haven't heard one single person bring that up.
yeah, man. Like that's a number that needs to be. I think some of that is going to be some of. So there was some talk that the reason why he won Pennsylvania was
Mhm.
a lot of the Amish people registered to vote because they supported Trump. So that probably plays a part in there too. But I wonder where the rest of these first year voters are, where they're coming from, because we know Kamala won the young vote. So these must be older people that weren't engaged in politics in the past and decided to suddenly become engaged.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat. So, what's even crazier? So, if this is first year of voting, and I don't have it pulled up here, but when they did the final tally on the total votes, there Biden got almost, like, going back to the 2020 election, Biden got like what, 80 votes, 80,000, 80 votes, 80 million votes in the popular vote.
Yeah,
And then Kamala, I mean, I don't think she broke in the what, 70s or whatever it was. Like, she didn't even crack that
72
number.
million, and Trump got
Yeah.
76 million.
Yeah. So what happened to those 20, really 12 million votes that just disappeared overnight? So we got these first time voters. Where are the voters from the first time in the 2020 at?
Oh, you about to break out your tinfoil hat, ain't you?
Hey, I'm just saying, you're telling me that Biden was a more galvanizing president than Barack Obama? Everybody loves Barack Obama, loves how he talks to everyone. He got more votes than Barack in both terms? Come on.
So I think what happened, and me and you we somewhat disagree on this. I think January 6th pissed off a lot of people, but as more facts came out and people started to dive into what really happened and what was really
Mhm.
said, I think some people had remorse, Biden remorse, and decided they were going to jump back to Trump if he ran again.
Yeah. I think for the people, to here it is. So for the folks that were upset with Trump about how he handled 2020, the 2020 voting, fine, whatever. But you still have to account what happened to all those votes. Like, Trump didn't bring this all stuff up, just like, hey, there's some merit here now. And so the Democrats, they can't say there's some issues here, because I really haven't heard a lot of them really talk about, what happened to those votes, because those votes would have swung the election. I mean, if you say, if even if she gets half of those people, she wins the election, or pretty damn near close. So what happened to those votes? Because if those people don't show up, like, why did like 12 million people not show up? That's my question. Unless something else happened where, I don't want to get this zapped on YouTube, but somebody's got to explain what happened to those 12 million votes.
So I'll tell you this. I talked to a lot of people that told me, as you know, I do some voter registration stuff in my personal life.
Mhm.
A lot of people told me that they were either going to sit this one out. They hated Trump, but they were going to sit it out because they didn't trust Kamala. And then there were some people that told me they were going to leave that part of their ballot blank and vote on everything else, but leave that ballot blank. And I wonder how much that came into effect here.
Yeah, I'd love to know who, because this only shows you the two candidates. I want to know. I want the stat on the other candidates and the people that left it blank.
Yeah.
So, which I don't think we'll ever know that, but I don't think there's anything else on here. Oh, this one's actually an interesting one too. The gay, lesbian, and trans vote. Um, I think people were surprised. Well, not really surprised. I mean, 86%, but I think that's lower than what has been in previous years.
Yeah, he
Or
definitely convinced some of the folks over there in that community to jump ship, and I would imagine that's going to continue to happen as well.
yeah,
One day, I do want to bring. I know a person who is very much gay and very much conservative, and he is very good at articulating his points and justifying his decisions. Maybe one day I'll ask him to pop up and kind of have that conversation, but probably the most conservative person I know, but also gay as hell.
yeah. This is kind of interesting one too. In the last few days, people made their decision. Well, that's pretty telling because you had Trump was blowing up the podcast with Joe Rogan, and then you have Kamala sinking the podcast with Club Shay Shay. Like people making their decision. I mean, this blows my mind that people decided in the last few days to decide who they're going to vote for, but it is what it is. But yeah, that was kind of interesting too. She had plenty of chances to kind of decide, or honestly, if I know she got installed late, but they should have been doing more debates. They should, and well, they try to do more debates, but unfortunately, the debates were unfair to Trump, and so I understand why he didn't do more debates, though. But had they ran a fair debate, that would have been a great opportunity for Kamala. But unfortunately, everybody was trying to save her. Everybody was trying to, run cover for her, and it ended up working against her because people can see the obvious, like the CBS debate. I mean, it was pretty obvious that it was Trump versus the world on that debate, and that made Kamala look extremely bad.
I
And
can't
so,
argue that. I mean, it looked like they all teamed up on him. I can't argue that at all.
yeah, it was a 3v1. Like it was a bad showing. And then Trump went on that the national black journalists one. That one was a bad one, which, the crazy thing is, so Trump went on that one. It went viral, mega viral everywhere. And it was obvious that these people are just hostile towards Trump. Like, I don't understand. Like, the more hostile you are to Trump, you're definitely going to go viral, but you're going to show that these people are just being unfair to Trump. But she went on the national black journalism, and nobody talks about it. Nobody, I mean, people probably don't remember, or people don't even know she probably went on it because it didn't do anything. If she had been there, she could have definitely set the record straight on a few things. But she decided not to be there, probably going to like some other stuff going on. But yeah, that did not work to her advantage. So
Hey, this is one more thing on here that really surprised me.
mhm.
Income. Kamala won the wealthy vote.
Oh yes, let me pull that back up here.
I that is surprising to me.
Hmm.
Although, see, the one I'm looking at is a little bit further down. It breaks it out. It breaks income out into 5 different categories. Hit Control F real quick and do income. It'll take you to it faster if you can. But while you're doing that, there's 5 categories here: less than 30,000, 30 to 50, 50 to
Oh,
99. Oh, you got it right there. Look at that. The wealthiest people voted for her.
the wealthiest and the poorest people looks like it.
Yeah, she got the poorest too. So everybody sitting in the middle is where Trump did the majority of his work.
Yeah. So the people that are the poorest people, where Kamala's policies, well, whatever policy she was thinking on doing, but typically Democrats have a bunch of policies that that go to help the less than 30,000, but they're not helpful. They don't really help them. They're just now they have to stay connected to them.
Yeah,
And then the elites showed up. Like the Democrat parties have turned into the elites. And you know when it started? It started with Obama. I'm just gonna put
yeah,
that out there. It started with Obama. Once he started putting everyone, getting all these celebrities and people talking for him, and being the mouthpiece and everything, and these celebrities thinking that they can actually swing an election. They found out their voice they have no power here anymore. And I'm not surprised that she won the party. She won the elitist votes. The people that were really struggling, the Americans that were going through the Biden administration right here, trying to put food on the table, trying to put clothes on their kids' back. They were the ones that were struggling, and they were the ones that Trump he connected with them. He spoke to those people, and Kamala didn't. She had like Meg The Stallion on the stage and people twerking and people getting out there and saying, just doing silly stuff. And he's talking about policy. He's talking about things that are going to help, the people in his audience and the votes. I mean, the votes don't lie, and people need to like take a look at that as well too, because people want to say like I saw some fallback where people were like, it's because of misogyny and racism. I'm like, you calling half the country, I mean, the majority of the country racist, misogynist? No, these people are hurting financially. These
yeah.
people are, they have to worry about what they can say and can't say anymore. And when they're putting their kids into school or what the schools are going to try to do, they have to worry about things occurring at work. They got to worry about discrimination at schools. If you do not go along with the Kool-Aid folks, you have to worry about that stuff. And so, yeah, Trump he speaks to that crowd. He's like, no more cancel, no more woke culture. That's all. I'm done with all that.
I'm gonna say two more things, and I'm gonna stop talking about this polls. The main takeaway from all these numbers we just talked about is the days are coming where you cannot look at somebody and tell how they're voting anymore. You're
Yeah,
gonna have
that's
to
a
have
very good
some deep conversations and ask some real questions and do some intellectual back and forth to figure out where they stand. You can't just look at them no more. That's number one. And number two, the racism and the misogyny stuff, I get it, it exists, it's out there, but the problem is y'all overuse that word so much that it's disrespectful and it weakens the people that are actually dealing with it.
point. Yeah,
That's
silent.
your fail safe every time something goes wrong for you, and you're being very disrespectful to the people that are actually experiencing this. If we were misogynistic, how did she even get to the VP spot in the first place?
Thank you.
Especially considering that she wasn't popular back when she was debating it out with all the Dems 4 years ago. Nobody liked her.
Hmm.
She got the lowest approval ratings of everyone that was up there debating.
Yeah.
But you want to bring misogyny into it. Women didn't even like her back then.
In
So
2019, they didn't like her.
right, right. So again, and as somebody, I've only dealt with racism one time in my life, one time, and it
Mm.
was for 5 minutes. Outside of that, nobody's it's never been in my face. And I would imagine a lot of people have that similar experience. I'm not about to sit here and take the L's and put it on racism every single time something goes wrong. We got to stop that.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a very, very good point. And yeah, we're headed towards a different America where we're going to get back to you being promoted on merit and hard work. So
No doubt.
okay, all right, we're going to the next topic.